Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Mariam Khan and this is Miss Sadi Bashir. We are going to introduce ourselves quickly and then we will tell you what we bring to you today. We bring to you Unpack Unplugged, and I am a mindset and behavior coach. I run my own organization for behavior change and coaching and consultancy. Sadi, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Sadia Bashir. And actually, I would like to talk about that, how basically we met.
Yes.
We met in a professional setting.
Okay.
And we used to work together. So it's been almost 15 years, if I'm not wrong.
Over 15 years, yes.
It's 15 years or more than that. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So it's more than 15 years that we have known each other. And how the friendship started, basically, it all started off because we were connected through books.
Yes.
So this was a kind of a bridge between two friends that brought them closer to each other. So therefore, after that, we departed our ways professionally for the good, but we remained connected through this. And there was this connection that we kept on feeling, even if we would not talk for days and months and so. But still, whenever we would talk, it would just be such a conversation, in-depth conversation about the ideas and about lots of things that deeply resonated with us when we would have such discussions and everything.
Yeah.
And one thing that we would do was that many people actually didn't, I think, and then we didn't have lots of friends. Why? Because what we did was people didn't
We
enjoy
still
it a
don't, by
lot.
the way. So, I mean, the idea is that if you have a friend for life, this is how you have a friend for life. You don't have to stay connected with that person
Yeah.
digitally or virtually or even physically.
Yeah.
You can stay connected through in your thoughts, in your dreams, and in your heart actually. And of course, most importantly, it's a connection of souls.
Yeah.
So we connected on the soul level. Have always
Yeah.
been,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the best part is that. What we shared was were a lot of interests, and out of those interests one of them was books, and we are avid readers ourselves, and we have a different perspective of things we've gathered throughout our you could say our lifetime, and this is how we started this channel as well, called Unpack Unplugged, because we want to talk unplugged, candidly. And not like we're not your philosophers or scholars or teachers for you, but we are people who have been through life and who have been successful in our own respective domains. Alhamdulillah, we are still progressing. It's not the end journey as yet for both of us, but we have a different way to look at things, and that's what connected us with each other as well.
Yeah, we
We'd like
very
to share that with
strongly,
you.
yeah, we really strongly would disagree at ideas. I mean, whenever we were going to read a book and I would come up with something and I would say that, what do you think about it? And then Mariam would really give me a very different perspective to the entire idea, and I would just go by that, okay, that's wonderful, but this is how I think. And then we would just go into those deepest of the conversations.
In all aspects,
And people would just
philosophy,
leave us
religion,
to
and so many
us,
things.
and they would say that, okay, just do whatever you want to. Because
And
we
who
really
cares
wanted
about
to talk
people?
about lots of other stuff that really
Yeah.
just was of interest to them, but not to us. So therefore, this is the one of the kind of, I would say, a platform for us to kind
Share
of
our perspectives
share
with
our
you,
perspectives
share
with
our
you,
approaches with you,
and also to listen to your perspective.
Yes.
And we would love that, and we would want you to just put it in the comments that about whatever we explore or discuss.
Yes.
We would like you to put it in the comments. Your
And
discussion.
remember, it is going to be unplugged, okay? So we are going to be candid. We will laugh a lot, and you may mind it as well, and that's absolutely all right, okay? But what we would want you to do is actually to listen and pick up from the conversation, so that that resonates with you in your own life as
Yeah.
well. So what do we bring today?
So today, the very first one it's the Little Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, the first whatever
Tell
we
us a
call
little
it.
bit about what
yeah,
the
the episode
prince is.
or whatever we call it. It is about the Little Prince.
Okay.
So why Little Prince? Now it's a good question, though nobody asked. But
No, actually, I did ask, why are we starting with this book?
Yeah.
So she gave a very profound answer. What was that?
yeah, so the
Why-
answer
are we
was that
starting
why
with
did
this
we
book?
pick it is that when I read the book Little Prince for the first time, I was in awe. And I was so inspired by this book at so many ways, because it is just packed with layers of meanings, and you have to unfold it. Apparently, it's a very, very, very innocent story a very easy read, a very good read. You can read it with your children, and I would
Yes.
recommend that you do.
Yes.
And it's very, very interesting. But at the deeper level, each and every word is a kind of, I would say, it speaks about the experience of the writer, and it brings to you a message. It brings to you a perspective to life that maybe, I think that would resonate with many of you at various levels, because you would have experienced it in one or the other way, be it your professional life or personal lives or
Or in
personal
your
relationships.
spiritual journeys or your relationships. Exactly. You will get, you will actually, why do we say we should read it to children as well? Because this talks about a little prince, and the little prince gives you the perspective for all the levels of human beings, I believe. And the examples that the little prince shares are really relevant to and understandable to every level, I would say. And it's deep and profound. Again, depends on your own experiences. Trust me, the impact of this book depends on the reader of this book, of the one who's reading it. So it's different for Sadia, it's different for Mariam, and it's different would be different for each one of you. So do read it for yourself as well. So let's start.
Yeah, let's start. And then prior to starting, I would say I would just give a very quick gist of so that you could connect to it, because
Yes.
what happened
Yes.
was that I was very much inspired by this book, and I was very excited as well. So out of that juvenile excitement at that time back then when I read it, I just picked up an excerpt and I read it to a group of students. It was,
Okay.
and they couldn't connect to it. And to my dismay or whatever.
Why? There's a reason for that.
Yeah, there is a reason for that. There is a reason that then I reflected that why did it happen?
Okay.
And then I understood that the concept was so difficult, and it was so complex, I would say, rather than
Okay.
difficult.
Okay.
In a way that maybe at that time their minds were not mature enough, I would think, to maybe grasp it in that way, out of the context. Because I put that particular thing out of the context and presented it to them, and that's why they couldn't relate very well. One or two of them who were avid readers, they could connect to it because due to their background of reading, but many of them could not. So
Okay.
this is what I anticipate, that this was one of the reasons. But later on, when they read the book, the entire book in totality,
Okay.
and then they were like that this is a kind of a treat to read.
And trust me, if they read it now, they'll find it different.
Yeah.
The experience would be different from how it used to be at that time.
Yeah.
So the way Alchemist is a book, and there's another book that whenever you read it at different points of time,
Yeah.
you feel differently about it. There's one
Who's
more
the
book.
writer?
There's one more book about it.
Who's the writer?
Alchemist is Paulo Coelho, of course, but
Paulo Coelho is the writer of the same book that you're talking about.
yes, I think I'm talking about the same book. So there's one more book.
There's Brida,
Uh,
11 minutes.
completely. No,
Winner Stands Alone.
completely forgot. I'll tell you guys
Adultery?
what that. No. It's not from Paulo Coelho. It's some other writer.
All right, then.
So it's it's
Okay.
a book that at whatever time of life you read it in, you have a different impact.
If you remember, you have to put it in the comments.
I am going to put it in the comments
Brilliant.
or in the
Okay.
description, of course.
Great.
Let's start. with
Yeah,
it.
so let's start. So it's
Would you tell us about? Okay, let's talk about a little bit about
a
the
little
gist
bit
of it,
that.
the summary of the book.
The gist
okay?
is
Yeah.
that there is a kind of a soldier, and his plane breaks down in the middle of a desert,
Okay.
and there he is just trying to fix up that plane.
Okay.
That when he hears a mysterious voice, and that voice is that of Little Prince.
Okay.
So Little Prince is beautiful, has that unearthly beauty
Okay.
and all that,
An
golden
ethereal
hair and all
being,
that.
kind of. Okay.
Exactly. So he's so inspired because he's the Little Prince is so mysterious, and his entire take to the worldly matters is so different that intrigues the writer.
Okay.
And then he just wants to know that from where has he come from and everything. But the Little Prince is on to something.
Okay.
Right? So therefore he himself is already on a journey.
Okay, so it's the journey
Journey
of
to
the
Earth.
man and the journey of the little prince as well. Okay,
Altogether.
all right, okay.
So the Little Prince comes from another planet, and he also owns a planet. He has a planet, but it's a very small planet.
Okay.
But then he goes to so many other planets. He leaves his planet
To explore
to increase
the
his
other planets.
knowledge, to
Okay.
explore, to get wiser, to gain more experiences. And then when he goes to various planets, somebody advises him to go and visit the planet Earth.
Okay.
And then he visits the planet Earth.
And this is the time. That
And this is the time when he goes to the planet. He is in the middle of a desert, and there is a plane and a man who's just trying to fix that plane. So this is how it is.
So let's talk about a lot of learnings from this book. We are going to take it probably quote by quote, and we would also try to take you through the story as well. So, but for the maximum of it, you would have to read it for yourself. So let's start with the first instance or the first encounter that the man had with the prince. What was the conversation?
Yeah, the first one was that when. Though the story opens up with the writer reflecting about his past, and he talks about the adults as grown-ups. And he says the grown-ups are like that, grown-ups like numbers, grown-ups never know the essence of something that matters really, because what they think are the matters of consequence are actually not the matters of consequence, but rather they're just trivial things, day-to-day things. And whereby the truly what we can accord as matter of consequences, they're oblivion to that. They don't know. So therefore this is how it is. And then he wanted to be a painter, but nobody allowed him to be a painter. Why? Because it was, according to the grown-ups in inverted commas, that was too trivial a profession for him. So therefore...
Well, it still is, as per the grown-ups.
According to him.
Let's see,
So therefore he wanted to become a painter. And he said that I was so good as a painter. And it's very interesting that he draws a painting which apparently looks like a hat. But basically it's a boa constrictor who has eaten up an entire elephant.
Wow.
So it was. This is what it was. That painting was all about. But he was discouraged so much about his first attempt that he just gave up the idea of becoming a painter. So when the little prince meets the soldier, so the little prince asks him to draw him a sheep. And he says that out of nowhere he has disappeared. He has appeared, just like appeared. So
out of thin air.
Out of thin air, and. Suddenly just asked me to draw a sheep. And what is it? And he says that I've just given up. I had this dream of becoming a painter once, but not now. I can't, because now I know. You can ask me about geography, you ask me about math, you ask me about
the disciplines of the adults and the grown-ups. He was good with that and not with the drawing anymore.
So he said that, but then the little prince said that it doesn't matter at all. Draw me a sheep. And he said that then there is one statement that he says. He says that when a mystery is too overpowering, one dare not disobey.
What do you get out of it? So what my impression of this statement is that as we were discussing, we discuss these quotes very often, and we try to relate it, with different aspects of our life, even everyday happenings and everything. So what I get out of it is that when life gets really overwhelming for you, because of any reason. It could be the events that are happening in your life. It could be your relationships. It could be your job. It could be anything. Probably your spiritual journey is also something that is making it more overwhelming for you. The more overwhelming something gets, the best way to deal with it is to go with it. You should not repel it or rebel it. The more you let it flow and let it unfold, the better it gets for you to learn from it. Because the moment you quit it, that's exactly what the thing wants. It's becoming overwhelming because it wants you to quit it. It's testing you. So the moment you let it flow or let it unfold, that's the way to find out more about it. And then probably with time it is going to become less overwhelming for you. So you obey it. You can't disobey that.
Wow, brilliant!
That's the gist that came into my mind.
Perspective of yours to it. Yeah, I like it very much. To me, when a mystery is too overpowering, it means when something overpowers you, it capacitates you in one or the other way.
It does.
It limits you. And I think that your faculties of reasoning, they're shut off somehow, because you stop and then you just listen to your heart, maybe, if it's not wrong to say, and then you just give into that emotion of exploring and demystifying that something that is so
your
mysterious
goes down.
So probably you are into and overwhelmed with that power of mystery so much that you really want to unfold it very quickly, and you want to know, because
And
we
you
have
do
the
it through
inquisitive
reason.
nature.
Do you
And,
try through reason?
it depends, I think.
Okay.
It would depend. It would differ from person to person.
Okay.
But many people give into that, and they just let that, the course of, like, I mean, they just flow with that entire course or current,
Okay,
and they
okay.
just flow with it.